The AQI number, can you make that out? That suddenly started to increase quite dramatically. And as you can see, it's gone into moderate now. So suddenly that's an argument for like, oh yeah, outdoors, it can be quite bad in the ULEZ zone. But then I wondered, like, why is it doing that? And it's like, it suddenly started going up. And where did it start going up from? You see behind me what's there? Hi guys, and welcome to part 2 of my videos where I'm testing the air quality, the level of toxicity, if you like, in the air in and around London. Now in part 1, I looked at the air quality in central London, including on the underground, which was pretty shocking, let me tell you. And I've got to say that if you haven't watched that video, go and watch that video first before you watch this one. I'll put the link, it's above, but I'll also put it in the description below. So in this second video, the plan is to test the air quality in the outer London area. So this is the areas that are now coming into ULEZ, or will, if it goes ahead, come in under ULEZ on the 29th of August onwards, which is just over, actually literally 2 months from now. And to do this, I'm using this device. This is made by ELITech. Now ELITech actually, or ELITech, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, ELITech, whatever. They are a company that produces monitoring devices for hospitals, laboratories, and industry around the world. So this is professional kit. If you want to buy this device, this is an LKC-1000 plus second. This is just over £100. And I'll put a link for this below, and also I'm putting a discount code. The discount code is Shazad, it's my name, and you get 10% off if you want one of those. So what we're going to do, I am actually at the end of my local high road. So this is Kingsbury roundabout behind me, and I'm going to give you a reading from this road, which is always very busy, no matter weekday, weekend, whatever. And let's go on with that. But like I said, make sure you watch the first video first, because in that I also explain all the settings and all the readings and what they mean and how this device actually works. So let's get to this.
A brown car guy. Brown car guy.
Right then, so as you can see, a bus now on Kingsbury roundabout. That's where I still am. And even since I shot the intro, I've been leaving this device running. One of the things I realize about this is that you need to keep it running for a few minutes before you take the readings, so that the readings are more accurate. The results will come straight at you. You know, I'm not making any of this up. I'm not filtering this. This is straight from the device. You'll see it. So right now, as I said, I'm standing here. This road is always very busy. Look at that. We got a Lamborghini turning up there. The ULEZ. You can hear that. That's a meaty thing. So I've got my meter running. It's still running, right? And at the moment, it's showing 21. Let me turn this around. Let me see if you can see that. That's 21, 22. It's still in good. So this thing needs to be below. So this is the AQI. So this needs to be below 50. As long as it's below 50, it stays good. If it goes above 50, it's unhealthy. And on the underground, in my part 1 of this video, I recorded a figure of, so as that, because you notice as the Lamborghini drove off, that went up to 24. But still well within safety parameters. So in part 1, I recorded a figure of as high as 183. And that was not on a road in London, that was actually on the underground, believe it or not. And let's go over to the particulate emissions, and we can see the particulate emissions. So PM2.5 is 5.0. We are looking at a maximum figure of 12 before that goes from good, where it is now, into moderate. And at the moment, it's fine, it's 4.9. This figure is PM10, and we're looking at a figure of 54 before that moves from good into moderate. So in both cases, those figures are absolutely fine. Yesterday, I saw figures of 119 for PM2.5 and 219 for PM10. Scarily high figures that were very firmly in the unhealthy category. And where was that? Yep, that was, once again, on the London Underground. And finally, we'll look at this. This one hasn't really had much of an impact outdoors. And this is really to do with volatile compounds. TVOC is total volatile compounds, organic compounds, sorry. And then you've got HCHO, which is formaldehyde. Now, both of these, the formaldehyde is a carcinogenic, and that's just compounds that can cause you harm as well. So these figures I found are actually, I mean, at home, you can get much higher readings on these than you will outdoors. So they don't really seem to have an impact outdoors, but indoors, they seem to do that. Only on the bus did I see that go as high as 0.3. You're looking at no more than 0.1 for that first figure, and then it gets into unhealthy, and you're looking at no more than 0.6 for that figure before it strays into unhealthy. So both of those are absolutely fine. So as you can see, I am on this road. It's really busy, as usual, as it always is, and 18. I haven't got more than 18. To be fair, as I was walking up here and there was quite a bit of traffic, I think it got as high as 28. But that's still within good, because I had to go over 50. Anyway, we'll go around, we'll test a few other areas as well, and we'll see how we get on and how desperately, apparently, we need ULEZ in these areas to save our lives. So as I was walking back from the last location, continuing down Kingsbury High Road, the number, the AQI number, can you make that out? That suddenly started to increase quite dramatically. And as you can see, it's gone into moderate now. So suddenly there's an argument for like, oh yeah, outdoors it can be quite bad in the ULEZ zone. But then I wondered, like, why is it doing that? And it's like it suddenly started going up. And where did it start going up from? You see behind me what's there? That's Kingsbury Station. So just near the station. Look, as I'm walking closer to the station, that is actually going up again. So this is honestly, the whole thing is a lie. The whole discussion about cars being responsible for harming our health. Look at that, look, it's jumped to 65. As I've come, 66. 60, it's still climbing. So literally, as I've come to the station, I'm not even in the station. Just walking past the station, I noticed the figure is going up. Particulate emissions, oh yes, they've climbed as well. Yeah, so that's also now in the moderate. PM 2.5, 20, PM 10, 33, that number has jumped dramatically. They're still climbing. And that's holding at 65 now, 62, okay, so that's holding now, around 60. It's very interesting that now it's starting to fall. But the only thing I can surmise is the passengers are now coming through the gate. Right, okay, so the only thing I can surmise there is that what's happened is that the number went up as the train was coming in. Obviously this is an open train station, so as you can see, it isn't actually underground, so you go into the platform is open. So therefore, the pollution, right, so this is the only thing I can surmise. If anybody else has theories out there, do let me know, but what I can surmise, that number has also now gone down, is that the train was coming in, and that's why that number jumped. Because it was getting the pollution from the train and the train tracks, which are literally just over the top of these buildings here. So just on the other side of this is actually the train track. So basically what's happened is that went up as I was walking past, as the train was coming in. As the train left and the passengers started coming out, that number went down again. That's quite extraordinary. And it's saying a lot. It's saying a lot. It is saying, what it's actually saying is that the biggest danger to public health in terms of air pollution and in particular particulate emissions is the train, is a tube network. That's what's doing it. Tube network, train network, whatever. That's, wow. Wow.
Brown car guy.
So I'm in my 1989 BMW E30 325i. It's got a straight 6 2.5 litre engine. It's a classic. It is non-ULEZ compliant. I've got my TemTop. So I've just started it up. Just literally, it's been like a minute since I've started. It's just settled down now. So let's take this around the back and see what sort of readings we get. Yeah, so AQI. Let's go right where the exhaust is. Shall we? Here we are, leaning right down. We're at the exhaust. We've still got 10. Let's go particulates. Wow. I mean, there's the exhaust. You can hear it, right? 2.4, 4.1. Let's try the volatile compounds and the formaldehyde. No, nothing on that really. That's pretty standard particulates. I'm surprised. I was expecting to see a lot more particulate emission. So maybe it's true what they say, that it's not so much from the exhaust, the particulate emission is coming from the tires and the brakes, which then of course applies to EVs as well as petrol cars. Remember, this is an old car, it is non-ULEZ compliant. We're talking the BMW E30 325i. So the other thing, of course, is how they kind of said, it's gone down famously, is that there's toxic pollution inside your car. And he says that basically when you're in your car, you are risking your health. So you can see, well, the windows are closed. You can't see it, let me confirm it. Closed, sunroof is closed. Windscreen, of course, is closed. Windows are closed. It has those old-fashioned side-hinged rear windows, and they are both closed, as you can see. So everything in the car is now closed. The car has been running for a while, and if you compare it to part one of this test where we looked at the underground and you saw the emissions there in an enclosed space, and they say that's what you should be doing, and then he said that traveling in cars is dangerous for you. This is an old car. First of all, I'm surprised that manufacturers have just, you know, quietly taken that, because I know the manufacturers in the latest cars and the modern cars, they have a lot of filtration systems and far improved ventilation systems in the latest generation of cars, and the cars are actually pretty clean. So I'm astonished that the car industry wasn't up in arms saying, what are you talking about? You know, you're suggesting that our motorists and our owners are poisoning themselves in our cars. I mean, potentially they should sue him, but anyway, they haven't. But this is an old car, so this has got no filtration system, it's got no AC, nothing. And I've got the fan is off. Fan is off as well. Let me confirm that for you. The fan is off as well. So what is the reading? So am I killing myself right now as I'm sitting in this car? Well, can you make that out? That's on 15, right? I can read backwards. That's on 15. That's the air quality index. This has been running for a while in here as I've been talking to you, because as I said, as I discovered from the first video, part one, that you have to let it run for a while for it to pick up accurate readings. And there's the particulate emissions. So you've got 3.7, 6.5. There you go. Yeah, holding. 3.7, 6.4. It's dropped a little bit. 6.3 is actually dropping. The PM10s are dropping. The PM2.5 is holding. So it's hovering. And then what about this one? Okay, so the volatile compound, but you know, I found that at home as well. That's gone up to 32. So 0.6 is bad, as of course I mentioned. 0.6 is bad on the TVOC, the total volatile organic compounds. But having said that, that 32 figure was what I was seeing at home. And even on the bus in central London, that was the only number that went up. So actually, I'm beginning to think that actually that's related to enclosed spaces. You need ventilation. It's going up. It is going up, to be fair. But it's still within safe region. So it's still healthy. Let's hold on to that for a while and see how far it goes. 0.37 it's gone up to now. The top one is holding. That's fine. That's 0.37. Let's see if it goes any further. 0.38, it's climbing. 0.43, that's gone up to 0.43. 0.44. Let's see if it breaks over into, I'm just going to stick with this a while. The top figure 2 now has gone to 0.1. If it goes, there you go. So if it goes over 0.5 for TVOC, and if it goes over 0.1 for HCHO, which is formaldehyde concentration, then it goes into unhealthy. So as you can see, that's now gone into unhealthy. So like I said, I am in an old car. This is a 1989 car. I've got everything closed and don't normally drive like this. I normally have the windows open and stuff. But it's still climbing. It's just gone into unhealthy now. So just to check, AQI is still fine. That's on 14, still in good, and gone up to 15 now, to be fair. And particulate emissions, still holding steady. Not really, and that's just about where they were before. But that one is climbing, that's for sure. So I think that again relates to, you know, the fact that this is an old car, you know, and it's not surprising. And a lot of this stuff, I was reading about this stuff last night, the total volatile compound and stuff, a lot of that comes from paints and plastics. And of course, this is an old car with old, in fact, you know, the one thing that everybody comments when they sit in this car, that they can still feel, they can still smell the car, the origins of the car. And I guess that's down to the glues and the plastics and the stuff that they used to use back then. Of course, that stuff has now changed. They've got far more advanced stuff. And you can see that number is rapidly dropping now. As I open the window, both those numbers have rapidly dropped. So as I said in the video once, where I thought, oh, okay, you're getting poison in your cars, there's a very simple solution: open the windows, because instant ventilation. And look at look how rapidly that number has dropped. I mean, that is well within safe limits now. Particulate is holding the same. It's holding the same because that's the same, and AQI is holding the same as well at 15. But that one has dropped rapidly. Just to add something to that whole car section, the car is now off. It's been off. I've actually parked somewhere. I've just come back into the car. The car was closed. It was parked. I've just come back in the car, just sat in the car. I haven't turned the car on yet, but I turned on the meter and I left it running. It's been running for about a minute and a half now. And so again, the car is not running. And I just want to show you those figures again. And it's definitely gone into unhealthy. So again, this is the HCHO and the TVOC, so there's the volatile organic compounds and the formaldehyde levels. So with that first number, we're looking at, it shouldn't be more than 0.1, and it's 0.23. And the lower number shouldn't be more than 0.6, and it's 0.83. So obviously it's showing unhealthy right now on both of those numbers. But the reason I wanted to show you this now, because we've already done this, but the reason I want to show you this now is because the car is off. So this is not coming from the engine. This is just coming from an enclosed space. And the car is sitting here, it's it's got all the old plastics and everything on here, and perhaps the heat is affecting it or whatever. I mean, I'm sure some scientists out there could tell me exactly what's going on inside the car, but as you can see, that's not impacted by the engine running. That's just impacted by the interior of this car.
Brown car guy.
Hey guys, so now I'm on the A5. Behind me is the North Circular. So you just come off the North Circular. I'm in the Hendon bit and you go towards Colindale there. This has been running for a while now. So let's see. And as you can see, I'm right in the middle of the island. So this is a very busy road normally, and it is right now actually. So have a look at it. Let's see what we've got here. Can you make that out? We've got 4.4 in PM2.5. We've got 7.4 in PM10. That number is fine. That's the that's the HCHO and TVOC, and then if we look at the air quality index, we're looking at 18. So this is 18. I mean, that's well within safety parameters. Remember, that's got to be over 50 for it to start to get unhealthy. So it's at 18 at the moment. And going back to particulate emissions, they're holding steady. And here I am, and I'm right next to it, and this is right, you can see there's parked traffic there at the traffic light. And it's not moving at all, so it's absolutely fine. Well within the parameters. Remember, we're looking for number 12 on that PM2.5 for that to be dangerous, and 54 on the PM10 for that to be dangerous. So just to put this into context, I'm in my kitchen right now, and Omera has been doing some cooking, and this is showing 52. So remember, 50 is the upper limit of the good category. It's now in moderate. So it's showing 52. This is right now in the kitchen. It's been at 52 for over 10 minutes. So this has not just happened. This has been consistent like this. And if you look at the particulates, that's over 12.9. So it's over 12, which again makes that moderate. Going into the last category with the HCHO and the TVOCs, they're normal. So that's good. But that is quite interesting. So this is just to put into context when we talk about, readings of 11 or 12 when we're out on the roads and we think, oh, that might be bad. It's like, well, that's 50 at home when you're cooking. Right, so it's Saturday afternoon and I am at Tesco. Now this Tesco is the one that's just adjacent to IKEA on off the North Circular Road. Wembley is over there, Neasden is over there. So where the North Circular Road is effectively the boundary of the current ULEZ. So I have my BMW E30 with me, as you can see. The non-compliant car, on this side I can drive it. On that side of the North Circular, I cannot drive it. If I do, I have to pay the £12.50 charge. I've had this running for a while, so like I said, this is Saturday, this is a busy day, and this is a big Tesco in the area. A lot of people come here for shopping. I've been running this for a while, and it's going to be hard to make it out in this light. Go figure out. And it should have got some, as somebody suggested, I should have got anti-glare stickers for this. But it's showing a reading of air quality index of just 5. Just 5. I mean, how extraordinary is that? In particulate emissions, you got PM2.5 is 1.2. and PM10 is just 2, and you can see 180. I mean, that's just nothing. That's just absolutely nothing. Now, what we can do, as you can see where I am, like I said, Tesco, IKEA is just over there. You can see the blue top of the building there. If I go over here, I think there's a path actually to get to the North Circular. So let's actually go there. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out. We are now on the North Circular in one of the busiest parts of it, because this is where the turnoff for Wembley is, just over there, like I said, and also for IKEA, and also for this big Tesco. Hanger Lane is that way, Ace Cafe is that way, and then the other way there is Brent Cross down that way. And the injunction for the M1 is also down that way. Now, I'm going to walk a little bit further down here to let the thing is running, it's in my hand, the meter is running. Right then, so why that long walk? Well, I'll tell you why. Because I wanted to come to here. This is the official air quality monitor station. You can see the sensor is up there, almost as high as the IKEA sign. And this is the official one that is placed in IKEA on the North Circular. And this is where we are. And one of the things I wanted to show you, because a lot of people have been saying that this device that I've got, you know, it's a good thing that I did the part 1 and part 2, because I've had some feedback from part 1. And part 1, people are saying, oh, you know, it's not an accurate device, it doesn't work properly. Well, if you see now, that has actually gone up to 15. Air quality index, 15. That's what the device is saying, because I'm right next to the North Circular, right? Busy lorries and everything going past, right? Now, let me show you this. This, as you can see, Brent IKEA, this is the reading from this station. From right here, this is the station, and this is the website that you can use. There you go, there's the website. I'll put the link below. And it's showing 17, and my meter was showing 15. And this one's a bit higher. So there you go. And I just noticed something. There's a gantry up there. There's a little bridge that goes across the North Circular. Let me get up there. Now this will actually be very useful, because here I am on the current non-ULEZ side. So this is where ULEZ is coming in, or supposedly coming in. So this is the non-ULEZ side, and over there, that's the ULEZ side. And in the middle is the very busy North Circular. Showing 9 at the moment, air quality index. This is right in the middle now. North Circular Road, in both directions. As you can see, it's gone up to 10. 11. Okay, let's watch this. Let's see what it does. No, that's not budging. And the PMs, okay, 2.6 and 4.7. So PM 2.5 is 2.7 and PM 10 is 4.7. 4.8, it went up. Is it going up? Let me see if it's going up. I'll just monitor this. It's very hard to see on the camera. 2.9, 4.7, holding steady. And the air quality index, 12. Traffic is piling up. Look, it's stopped now. So I'm literally above the stop traffic now. Still showing 12. So now let's walk over to the ULEZ side, because of course suddenly the air gets much cleaner now that we're on the ULEZ side, because we're on the ULEZ side, right? So it should get much cleaner. We're into the ULEZ side. This is now the ULEZ side. And I'm going well into it a little bit, so a little bit away from the road. Let's go into a little bit away from the road. It's dropped. 11, 10. That's just because I'm away from the road now. 9, yes, it's dropping significantly. So you can see. So anybody that says the machine is not working or it's not accurate, you can see that there's an immediate impact. As you can see, look, 9. You can see there's an immediate impact of being away from the traffic. 8, it's gone down to 8. So what was the air on the other side? Let's go back there and find out. This is actually dropping a lot. But look where I am. I'm this far away now from the road, from the North Circular. Trees. And actually I'm surrounded by a fence. So this could be actually cutting down the air as well. So we go back down to the other side now. So the non-ULEZ side. And let's see how it is there. Now keep in mind that we are walking into a car park on this side, whereas over there it was a fence in a quiet residential area. I mean, don't forget that whether whatever the numbers we've seen on this side and on that side and in the middle, in each of those cases, it's still been firmly in the green. It's still been good. So it hasn't actually gone into, so here we go, we're down to 8 now. As we've come back to ground level on the, it's gone down to 7, 6. Look at this. This is Friend Park. This is the area that's going to be coming under ULEZ, and as you can see, it's congested and smog filled. Well, no, not quite. It is a massive park. It sits between Wembley and Kingsbury. Like I said, it's Friend Park, and not yesterday, I mean in the part 1 of these videos, of the ones where I'm testing the air, you would have seen that I went out to Green Park, and that was in central London, and that was in the ULEZ area. And I went into the park, and then I turned on the meter there, let it settle down, and I got a reading of 11. So what's the reading that I'm getting here in this park? In fact, it is also, actually it was 11, it just dropped down to 10. And particulate emissions, we can look at that. It's 2.3 for 2.5 p.m. and for PM10 it's 3.8. But that's going down to 9 now. Look at that. So it's dropping, dropping, dropping. I'll tell you what though, I gotta be honest with you. I noticed something interesting. This actually did go up to 12 when I was standing here just before I started filming. It's gone down to 8 now. And I was wondering, why did it go up to 12? And for anybody that disputes the sensitivity of this thing, way over there are the tracks, I believe, for the Jubilee line. Oh, the Jubilee line should be, yes, actually, yes. So way over there, so you can, every now and then you can hear the train. There's a Jubilee line that runs into Kingsbury, so it's over there somewhere, back there. So every now and then you can hear it. And the interesting thing is that when I heard it last time, that's when this thing climbed up to 12. Yeah, you can hear it now. There's a train. I don't know if you can hear that. But there is a train there now. It's gone up to 9. Ten. Yeah. I can hear the train over there. That's interesting, isn't it? So without the train, it drops back down to 8, and then it goes back up to 10. So it's back on 10 now. If you can see that, there you go, 10. It's dropped down to 8 now. So, you know, because the train is past 7. It's dropped down to 7. If you don't believe me, there you go. Can you see it? Dropped down to 7 there. So, one more place I think I should check out. Okay, you can guess where I am. And of course I am measuring this, and it's gone up to 41. Let me show you. Right, that went up to 41. So that's close to the 50 threshold. 42, yeah, I'm right next to Heathrow Airport. As you can see, you can see where I am, right next to Heathrow Airport. Now I have been measuring this as I've been walking up to this place, and it's been about 25, 26, that sort of number. And as the plane went overhead, it went up to 40, so 39. It's going down now that the plane has gone past. But as you know, this is Heathrow, so there's always a traffic queue of airplanes coming in. So in a very few moments, I can see one coming in now. There's another airplane coming in to land. Let's see if I can move a little bit further to get right underneath its flight path, and you can see it's dropping down to 27, 26. What's particulate emissions? 6.3. We got 6.1, 10.6, and I'll show you those after the plane goes. So 24 we're down to now. 23. We got 23. Yep, 23. So here we are, just near Hatton Cross Station. You may be able to just make out that there is a plane coming. There it is. So I don't know if you can see that. There's the plane. We are right underneath it. I'm at 22. 22. There goes the plane. Plane has gone past. Let's see how the numbers respond to that. It's holding steady this time. Interesting. Maybe I need to be not underneath it, but next to it. Maybe that's what the thing is, because I was a little bit further away. 22, or maybe it's different types of plane. 26, there's a big concern with people that work at the airport, because a lot of those people that have to come into the airport every day do not have ULEZ compliant cars, and therefore are going to be subject to the £12.50 charge for them just coming to work, to park at the airport. And as you can see, it's completely unjustified. Don't forget that even if it goes up to 30, 40, it's still well within safety parameters. Another plane coming. Let's try this again. '21. Now, I was hoping that they'd be taken off this way, but unfortunately they've switched around the other way, because normally they take off this way and they come into land the other way. And it would have been interesting to see how that would have impacted the air quality. But hey ho, we're still within the air. I mean, the airport is right there, as you can see. We are right next to it. There's lots of activity going on. There's a line, as typical with Heathrow, there's a line of airplanes and jets coming into land. So I think it's representative of the air quality around the airport, and as you can see, lots of traffic on this road as well. Yeah, an A380, a British Airways A380 just landed, just went right over me, and I was in the same place that I was when I first took that measurement, the 40 that came up. So it must have been an anomaly, because I didn't see it come up. It came up, went up to 31. It went up to 31, and that was it. It's on 26 now, so still measuring. It's still on right now. Particular emissions, really nothing to write home about. 6.3, 11.1. So again, still well within safety parameters. What can I say? If we were hoping for massive results at the airport, we didn't get them. Air's clean. There you go. All these people, actually, if you see around me, it's a popular venue for people to come and do plane spotting, and there's a ton of people in here at the moment, and they're fine. They're absolutely fine. They can continue to sit here and enjoy this air for the rest of the day, because the air is clean.
Brown car guy.
Right then, so part 1 and part 2, what have we learned? And by the way, if you haven't seen part 1, I strongly urge you to do that. So as soon as you finish watching this, go over, I'll put the link above, below, wherever, but it's there, and go and watch part 1, because that's very important as well. Part 1 was in town, and there were some astonishing results shown there as well. Now, looking at, and right now, I've still got it running, it's on 16 at the moment. I'm just leaving it on there. It's in the car, and again, just putting that into context, remember it was as high as 50 in my kitchen, and 50 below 50 is the safety threshold, so actually it's fine. So by and large, what have we found? Well, we certainly found that ULEZ potentially has had an impact, a positive impact in central London, and that's good, that's fine. But will it have an impact in outer London? Is the air so bad in the outer London area? I'm still near the airport, as you can tell, just coming back from there. Is the air so bad in outer London that we need ULEZ expanding to cover that, because we need to be saved from the pollution that's heavy in the air? Well, no, I think it's pretty conclusive that that's not the case. In fact, the only pollution that I could detect in outer London was coming from, believe it or not, the underground. So, irony of ironies, that's the only time I detected any pollution. Otherwise, the pollution levels, and standing on the busiest road, and standing, right on top of the North Circular Road, standing right in the middle of Hendon Road, standing in the middle of the busiest roundabout on my high road, and still nothing. Well within safety parameters. So what really needs to be looked at, I think, is the underground and the pollution that's causing. And the thing is, it was good to put part 1 up and get some feedback and comments, but a lot of people are like, oh, well, you went in the underground, and all the air, all the pollution from the road above is going into the underground, and hence that's why, the pollution was bad in the underground, because the air was seeping down, or because it was an enclosed space, or whatever people said about it. But the reality is that this device detected a train traveling when I was in Friant Park from nearly half a mile away. It went up by 3 points, which is nothing, but it still went up. It detected the difference, And again, if you say to me that I stood underneath the airplanes, but maybe the device wasn't sensitive enough to pick it up, well, it is sensitive enough, because from half a mile, it picked up the fact that there was a train passing. And I kid you not, that is absolutely for real. So the reality is, it's the trains, both in the underground and where the trains are traveling externally. It's all the stuff that's coming off the trains that is causing, or tube trains in particular I should say, that is causing the issues. And what we have learned is don't live next to a tube train line. That's a good top tip anyway. Also, I will just add, and like I said before, you can get these devices from ELITech. I'll put the link below. There's a 10% discount if you put my name in as the discount code. When you go to the checkout bit, if you put in my name, Shahzad, S-H-A-H-Z-A-D, you'll get a 10% discount. I have been using the thing at home as well, and it's quite interesting actually, the fact that the results that you get from using it at home, to the point that I'm actually considering getting an air purifier for my home now. So it's, you know, it's definitely worth having one of these devices. It's fascinating the results that it throws up, and it's fascinating where you don't realize the sort of pollution levels that you might be putting yourself you know, in close proximity to, where you might not think they exist, and where you do think they exist, it's actually fine. Anyway, I'd love to hear your feedback. So I'm sure that I'm going to get a lot of comments on this video, and thanks for watching. Make sure you like, share and subscribe. Very important videos, both part 1, part 2. Make sure everybody sees these.
Brown car guy.
Hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please hit the like button and share this video as well if you can. And while you're at it, check out these guys who also sponsor my content. I am deeply grateful to them because it helps me to buy new equipment, put fuel in the cars, and yes, buy a cup of coffee. You can do the same. Just go here, or right here on YouTube. Just hit these 3 little dots down here and click on thanks. Make sure you're signed in first. My content is free, but this is how you can help me keep it that way. I may even send you a gift. Oh, by the way, watch this next.